subreddit. Um, I usually do this on Sundays, but I had a little bit of stuff going on with trying to get my Epic update working, and so that took priority because I think this is just a fun little thing to waste time with. So, having said that, it's Tuesday after work for me right now. So let's go check out Reddit Cardano. Um, so here we are. We're sorted by the top posts for this week. And we have do not advocate pump and dump schemes for the top thing. They're talking about Wall Street bets and cryptocurrency. And I don't know how many of you, let's go check this out. What happened with Dogi? Right. I can neither confirm nor deny whether I was caught in a stupid chasing a pump, right? This is like classic crypto stuff, classic scammy crypto stuff. What did Doge do this week? 1000% move, right? So pretty stupid, and now it's crashed back down. I'm a little bit worried actually that that this move right now, looks like we're over 42 cents. Whether or not this is real or this is just a rotation through the, GME to Doge to XRP and now to ADA. But I don't know. This is feeling a little bit more sound to me. So much as I don't really like to talk about price, it's kind of interesting. Always trust bird gossip. A little bird landed on my shoulder and told me that February is going to be a really good month. Bird gossip is generally reliable. This is pretty interesting. I immediately pictured that photo of Charles in Mongolia with that like falcon, some kind of Mongolian falcon on his shoulder, like hunting bird. And yeah, I think this is related to the hard fork combinator coming in February. I saw some pretty cool demos for stake pool operators of native tokens, and I can confirm that that shit is the bomb. And it's not smart contracts, but native tokens is a pretty big step for Cardano, and I think like even more so than metadata. It's like, okay, like we're into this. This is starting to have some real functionality. It's starting to be usable for various use cases. So I'm pretty hyped about that. I think February is going to be good, and maybe Charles talking about this might be more like deal related or something happening there. Cardano is now I don't get this post. Some I think it's always the same guy. He posts the same thing, which is like such low effort content, right? The screenshot of the Daedalus thing moving 2%, and he gets like 680 upvotes every time he posts this. I'll give him an upvote too because that's the kind of dude I am. Tons of awards, right? If any of you want to farm some karma on Reddit, just beat dominating Slash to posting this, and you will get a good couple hundred karma and a bunch of awards. So that should be good. So if you don't know what this is talking about, this is the D parameter, right? When I think when Shelly launched, D was around like 0.1, which meant like 90% of the blocks were made by the BFT nodes of IOHK. Those nodes are separate from the pools that IOHK runs on the stake pool operator network on the mainnet. So if you look at Pool Tool IO, these pools if we were to look at, let's see, IOG, yeah, these guys. These pools are even these private pools, they're like normal stake pools registered on the network. There's another set of pools which are kind of like the internally run network, the centralized network, which eventually in 59 days will be kind of spun down or turned off, and the network will be entirely in stake pool operator hands. Okay. So you have very trustworthy people. Grayscale, Cardano Trust, ADA registered in Delaware. How many clickbaity YouTube videos did you see about this week? I think this is pretty cool. Grayscale is a good way for, you know, like, I don't know, institutional money or people exposed to normal equity markets to get invested in crypto. I'm a little bit not skeptical, but like, it wasn't just ADA, right? Registered in Delaware, this Cardano Trust. It was them and a bunch of other coins. So I think kind of what could be happening is they've just registered like the top 10 or 20 or so cryptocurrencies by coin market cap to, you know, give them the option of starting something like this and maybe to start to accumulate some bags without driving up the price of any one of these coins too much. So let's put 8 on. I love this guy. What is it? He's I think Sri Lankan originally from Canada. Chamas Palihapitia. Yeah. Very cool dude. If you haven't checked out his stuff, go check it out. What is his VC fund? I think Social Capital. He's been running all these SPACs, like what, special purpose acquisition something like reverse IPOs funds to take companies public. And he's a pretty cool dude. I think the way this ended up playing out is he bought GME calls, GameStop calls, and then ended up cashing out of them after making a decent chunk of change. But yeah, it's pretty interesting. This is just a repeat of that other one. Or in 61 days, Cardano will be completely in the hands of stake pool operators. This is funny. We just passed 100,000. Now we're at 110,000 3 days ago, and I think as of this moment, we've passed 120,000. So actually, what is that? I think there's something called subreddit stats. Let's go check that out. Huh. So you can see the growth of the Cardano subreddit from 2017. January of 2018, it was at 34,000 users. There was a nice S-curve going on here where a lot of growth, and then it kind of plateaued out. And then this July bump, this is around Shelly time, Shelly going live, I think. So we were kind of at like this long, prolonged, slow, steady growth for a year or two. And now it looks like we're entering another kind of hype cycle where maybe we end up at a couple 100,000 people in the subreddit, and, you know, more people that are interested in Cardano. Not that everyone who's subscribed to a subreddit ends up making a financial purchase based on that, but a little bit of a nice indicator of tracking stuff. I wonder what the difference is between this top submissions here and the top submissions that we were just going through. So far, the same. We did that. We did do not advocate. We did spurred gossip. We did 76%. We did that. Yeah, it looks like this is the same, but of course, this is a little bit nicer to look at. Continuing on. This is what I was talking about, or not. It's related to what I was talking about. Native tokens planned on the Cardano mainnet end of February. So I can't say where I saw it, but I did see a video or a live demo of native tokens, and it was really cool. And it should be really great when it launches. So this is not vaporware, and it is coming. And if you don't know what a native token is, it's basically like the difference between Cardano and Ethereum and how they're doing their tokens is, I believe on the Ethereum network, any kind of other token is actually implemented through this like ERC20 smart contract type thing. I could be wrong about that. I was out of the crypto space for a few years, but basically like they're wrapped inside of a smart contract from what I understand, or they're created by smart contracts. So they're not really like full-fledged native type things. Whereas on Cardano, ADA is the as a native token on the Cardano blockchain, and there can be other native tokens implemented that are kind of like at parity. So many cryptocurrencies are actually just ERC20 tokens. And so when this goes live, it should be possible for those to port over to the actually I should rephrase that. The ERC20 converter is actually slightly separate from the native token capability, but the native token is the first thing that needs to be enabled. Right, you have first to be able to have native tokens before you can convert something to a native token. So, but if that kind of follows up, it could be a pretty big game changer for a lot of these. I think a bunch of those like swap coins and all those different coins that are just ERC20 tokens. So that could be good. How do you explain the mission of Cardano? This was IOHK. A little bit weird to me why IOHK is putting out these things. I mean, I know everyone knows why, because I think normally you would expect this kind of video to be put out by the Cardano Foundation, but everybody is kind of like giving the foundation heat for not doing things, and so maybe IOHK wanted a simple. I think this is like a short 2-minute long video to explain 1 minute 53 seconds what is Cardano from an IOHK perspective, maybe. So that's a pretty good. I mean, it's a lot of B-roll footage and just like voiceover, but people seem to like it. Let's make those who got fucked by Robinhood today know that we exist. Yeah, this is kind of what I was talking about. I expected there to be more flows into the crypto space because of all that sketchy Robinhood stuff. So they restricted the ability of buyers or of people to buy stocks but not sell them because they were worried about market manipulation. But that's like the definition of market manipulation. If you shut off one direction of flow on an asset, of course the price is going to tank. So this community is becoming toxic. I think when I read this thread, everyone was saying I actually don't agree with you. Maybe they were talking a little bit about Twitter. Twitter had some nice hot drama the past week or two, but I think the Reddit has been pretty calm. So most people didn't know what they were talking about. This was pretty cool. Team Gortskinson, ADA plus AGI equals heart. For those who don't know, Ben Goertzel is basically the guy behind one of the two big guys behind the Sophia AI robot, which is not really an AI robot. The other guy in it is some kind of like artist, from what I gather, who's like proposing questions around what does AI mean and whatnot. So kind of disinterested in that, but he does have some good things to say about Cardano. Of all the reasonably mature blockchains out there, Cardano is the only one that has the technical foundation we need for the future of Singularity Net. So I think they're kind of doubling the amount of tokens that they're going to have in circulation. They have all their existing AGI tokens that are on I think they're on Ethereum. What tickled you, James? The AGI stuff? I just saw that comment. Let me know down below. Maybe you're talking about the video, how do you explain the mission of Cardano? Sorry, I'm talking with my boy James in chat. So now we know we can stop because there's stupid posts that are in the top weekly thing. Where is ADA staked around the world as of Epoch 245? Yeah, every week this loser posts some of these stupid things. I don't know what they're about. I don't understand all these dumb little plots and charts. This time this is can I reveal? Oh, I upvoted my own topic. How lame is that? Okay, but no, I'm pretty happy. This is of course my post that I make to the subreddit every 5 days, and I think this one was a day or two late because I had an issue in getting my node that runs my node that I do this kind of data processing on upgraded to 1.25.1 or 0.2. because the data I get from all this is pulled directly from the, from a node running the Cardano blockchain, and I pulled the data directly off to do this. So one thing that I'll just touch on it here if you're not familiar with. One thing I like that I decided to do is I try to reply to everyone's comments in this thread, but sometimes they ask questions about stuff and I type out a long, stupid answer. But from now on, what I've decided to do is let those questions kind of build up and then make a video about the questions for that epoch and then reply with that video. Because what I really want people to be able to do is to use the tool to answer the questions that they have. So I'm hoping that over time, people ask these questions. Like one of the questions was, how is Japan relative to the rest of the world in terms of stake distribution? So we did that. And what else was the other one? You know, how can I find stake pools near me? So we did that. There's a bunch of other small questions, you know, the usual stuff, being confused about whether this shows delegators or stake pool relays. But that was that. Cardano doesn't have the largest community yet, but it's one of the most active. It is. So what they're showing is the comments per day and posts per day, even though our subs are not as high as Stellar, Litecoin, Ripple, Ethereum, or Bitcoin. We have more comments than everyone but Bitcoin, and we have more posts than everyone but Bitcoin. So that's pretty cool. I'm all in, being part of a greater thing. Yeah, except for my very, very dumb few-hour play into Dogecoin. I am also all in Cardano in terms of both crypto and equity, actually. I'm not interested in owning stocks, and so I've put all my investments into ADA because I am really not smart. And so my thinking there is I'm trying to like reap the rewards on both ends. I'm trying to work on some dApp stuff potentially on the Cardano blockchain, and hopefully that stuff works and I make a bunch of ADA off of that. And hopefully that dApp is actually kind of useful and helps the price of ADA go up. And so I wouldn't recommend other people to kind of go all in on it, but given my kind of background in the crypto space since Bitcoin was going from $100 to $1,000, and actually before that even, but given that and my kind of programming background, I'm really confident in the viability of the Cardano protocol and the IOHK team working on it to really take Cardano to the next level. So not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, blah, 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 blah. But that's what I'm doing. Made the move and staked my Cardano. Shut up, James. Alakai Cap. What's Alakai? Is that Indian? Is that Alaskan? Made it to the moon. It is over 42 cents. I cannot believe that. I'm just looking at the little tab over here. I usually don't like to talk about the price, but yeah, it's a good day. Yeah, everyone having a fun time. Everyone enjoying their holdings. I think ADA has gone up enough that my DCA purchases, my dollar cost averaging purchases, have made more money than my trading, stupid day trading, intraday trading losses have. So thank you, ADA. This is a chance. What were they talking about? Made the move and staked my Cardano. Yep. So it's always cool to see people getting staked. I really like that Twitter Peter Nietrop or something. I think he's a Dutch guy posting the number of new wallets every day. It's a really good thing to see people are getting active. If you're not, what do you call it? Sure how to stake. I do stream several times a week, and at the end of every stream, if you do have any questions about finding a stake pool or things like that, just throw them in chat, and I'm really happy to help you live one-on-one, even if it's boring for other people. I can just cut that out of the video at the end, help walk you through staking and what you need to know to get staked and how you can find a good stake pool. So I need to move and stake my Cardano. This is a chance to grow DeFi with the shutdown of trading on Robinhood. Yeah, I mean, I'm really excited. I think this is talking about how, I mean, it kind of plugs into my favorite rant the past week or two, which is about why decentralization. And if I can just take us back there again, the reason people are for decentralization is not just for decentralization's sake. Does that make sense? Like, we're not just like chanting decentralize, decentralize, decentralize because we think that's a good word and we want more of it. The point is, any one person, you shouldn't have to trust them because it shouldn't matter what they want to do, because one person should not be able to even significantly influence the outcome of the entire network, right? So whether or not you trust an individual is irrelevant, right? It doesn't matter if that person is good or bad, because in a properly designed decentralized system, the individual actions of any one person are totally insignificant, and it's only through the aggregate or the whole picture that anything matters. So people who are talking about, we trust these pillars, we trust these people, like, just go back and think about crypto a little bit more, because you're really missing like a basic fundamental principle of crypto. I trust you, Alakai Cap, but don't what do you call it? Don't take my financial advice. I'm a big loser. Alakai, this is the first time I've seen you in chat. Wait, you didn't answer the question. What is that word? What is the etymology or the origins of Alakai? And is cap short for capital or hat? You see, James is asking in chat, do you see someone launching an exchange using the Cardano platform? I really am excited about the possibilities of a DEX with Cardano, and I've used this once or twice. It's not an exchange, but I really think that as time goes on, this kind of like on-ramp is super important. What I mean by on-ramp, right? Like, for people who are trying to turn fiat or, US dollars or Japanese yen or whatever currency into crypto, this kind of way to just buy it from someone nearby you is super important. And I kind of think that the Atala Prism stuff might work for this, where I'm imagining some kind of escrow system where people kind of become, Hawaii, very nice. I like Hawaii. I have a good friend from Hawaii. Are you him? Are you them? Are you my friend from Hawaii? Do you like logistics? If you're my friend, you'll know what that means. Or if you're my friend that I'm thinking of, you are my friend. But anyways, it's really important for people to be able to buy crypto from other people nearby them, because that way, no matter what a government wants to do, like I lived in India for 3 years, and the Indian government is constantly like misunderstanding what is crypto and what they can do about it. Like, they're banning crypto, like they can do that. It's so stupid. So of course, if you walk over from one Indian to another Indian and you give them 1,000 rupees, they can sell you Bitcoin that they own, and there's nothing the government can do about that. So to ban it is just an asinine move, right? It makes no sense at all. And so what I'm kind of imagining is maybe there's some kind of Atala Prism based thing or identity that is not easy to spoof, where through some kind of smart contract system, someone says they want to buy ADA at a certain price, someone else says they want to sell ADA at a certain price. Money is sent to this like person as an escrow, and like maybe through a bank account or something, some kind of fiat on ramp. when that person gets the money, they confirm it and they release the funds to both parties, either the cash to one person and the cryptocurrency to the other person, and that could work. This local Bitcoins thing, just to be clear, I think when I used it, Bitcoin was around $150 a Bitcoin, and it still felt pretty sketchy. I go up to sell 5 Bitcoin to somebody for what, like $700, and you agree beforehand how much Bitcoin you want to sell, and both parties know that the other person is coming with a bunch of cash of that amount, and the other person knows that that other person has access to Bitcoin, hypothetically, of that amount, or crypto of that amount. And that can lead to some, like unsafe encounters, right? Are you going to get ambushed or whatever kind of thing? So that's if you're doing cash in person transaction. So if you use this platform face to face, you should always use it in a very public setting. And I've never used it with a bank transfer because I've never trusted that. But I was doing it more to like help get local people, local college students, Bitcoin. I was in Ann Arbor, Michigan at the time, and those people wanted to get it. So total number of Cardano ADA wallets has increased 40% in 2021. That's pretty crazy. 2021 has not been running that long, and we have 40% more wallets. So of course, you can. I have something like, I don't know, 5 to 10 wallets for my unsavvy family members who don't know how to like manage or hold crypto, and kids college fund and pledge wallets and all this other kind of stuff. So number of wallets doesn't directly correlate to number of users. I'm curious in chat how many Cardano wallets each of you have, if it's all in one, Daedalus or Yoroi, and or if you spread it out over multiple wallets. If you have any comment on that, that'd be cool to hear. Another one of these. Where's ADA staked around the world as of Epoch 244? Yeah, what can I say? So this was more normal. I don't know why. Maybe I would almost say it's indicative of the growth of the subreddit. When I posted this for Epoch 244, it got 191 upvotes, which I think is pretty high compared to or for whatever. And this one, I'll remove my downvote on it. At 427, maybe that has something to do with the time of day I posted it, or the growth in the subreddit. But yeah, this was a pretty interesting conversation. I watched about a half hour of this talk when I was in the tub yesterday. And it's always interesting to watch like two academically minded people talk to each other, right? Like, it's sometimes kind of painful because I don't know that they know how to like hold a conversation or continue. It was interesting, but sometimes it feels like you get two smart people in a room and they kind of talk past each other, and they're more interested in what they're saying than in listening to the other person. But this was a kind of a chat on, again, decentralization of social media. So there's so many arguments that you could use, or you could take from Charles and Ben talking about social media and apply that directly to the stake pool operator scene. Again, like, the point is, we don't want to have to trust anybody. We don't want to trust Twitter. We don't want to have to trust Facebook. It shouldn't matter what Twitter or Facebook want to do. We should be able to have a civil discourse. More than 7 wallets, James. Very cool. I was going to make a comment, but I think that's about your private info, so I'll leave that. It shouldn't matter what any one organization or individual wants to do. Like, that shouldn't be able to take things offline. And that's the same thing that, a lot of us in the stake pool community are talking about with regards to multi-pool operators. That, if you want to have one or even like maybe 2 or 3 pools, I'm personally, it seems like right now and for the foreseeable future, I'm thinking one. I have a family member who's interested in starting up a stake pool. So I don't know how I feel about that, because I'm kind of the way I'm playing it right now is I think I'm comfortable with teaching them how to set up a stake pool, but I don't want to actually run their stake pool. 10 wallets. Wow, that's cool. Wallet guy. Let me know what you guys think. I'm curious. Of course, Monad is not really sufficient to be splitting pools. What are we at? We're at 370,000. We're really trying to get to 1.3, 1.5 million to reliably block every epoch. So if you're into that, go ahead and throw us a delegation, and we can try to zoom past this middle ground. I'm super excited about how much we've grown. This started out as less than 100,000 pool, and we've kind of quadrupled in size. So I'm really grateful to everyone who's staked with us. ADA is a placeholder symbol when you add other cryptocurrency to your portfolio in the active portfolio iOS app. Such subtle hints go a long way. Is active portfolio, is that like the default iOS stock tracking app, or is this a name of an app? Active portfolio. Collect some management fee from your farm. Yeah. So my Alakai in chat is saying to collect some management fee from your fam. Yeah. So the issue, Alakai, is that on Twitter there was this big argument happening about whether it's okay or not to run, some of these big pool operators that have hundreds of million ADA staked with them, are splitting their pools. And that seemed kind of counter to the whole intention of increasing K and decreasing the amount of ADA that can be in a pool, because it seems logically like IOHK is doing that to drive stake into smaller pools. But if all the big pool operators double the size of their pool or double the number of pools they run and keep the same amount of stake in them, like, what's the point of that? And that links back into, do we want any one entity to be such a large chunk of the Cardano network that what they think matters? Again, I'm advocating for a trustless system where it doesn't matter if someone is good or bad, because they don't have a significant enough chunk of the network that what they want or think is actually can matter. 70% delegated. This is pretty cool. So this is, I guess, tracking the proportion of ADA that's in circulation that is staked versus unstaked. And so one thing I would caution is, like, people coming from other chains think that this somehow like means something about the price, because in other chains staking is locked or has a locking period, but on the Cardano network there's no locking period. And even before I made my stake pool, I would do this dance where I would make sure my ADA was in a Daedalus wallet, a couple hours before the epic transition happened. It would happen. Then I would withdraw my funds to Binance or send my funds to my Binance wallet. I'd trade for 4 days or so, and then I'd send it back into my wallet. I don't recommend it. In the end, I think I ended up losing money doing that, and I would have just had more money saving it. But the reason I'm sharing that is just to say that staking and percent delegated have nothing to do with price appreciation and locking in the ADA network, because you can kind of move funds around and dance them onto an exchange and back off. So if you want to lose half your ADA, feel free to day trade it on Binance and then make sure it's back in a staked wallet right before the epic transition. Cardano ADA smart contract environment Plutus is now live in DevNet. So this is pretty cool. It's something I'm not really a part of, although I guess I should be. But there's all these DevNets and testnet. I think the DevNet and testnet are actually different, and I believe the DevNet is slightly in front of the testnet. Even the testnet is where they, if I understand things correctly, that's where they test new versions of the node before they go live onto the mainnet. And the DevNet is where they actually, I believe, work on ideas before they even hit the testnet, right? To see if they work at all, kind of thing. So that's kind of cool. Plutus is a kind of pared back version of Haskell, and Haskell is the reason I got into Cardano in the first place. my pool name monad is a kind of like a meme or a big concept in Haskell. And again, the reason I'm so bullish and long Cardano is actually a function of Cardano being built in Haskell. So it's really funny to me when people are like, oh, if only Cardano was built in JavaScript, then we could, then you would get more developers and we could move faster and this kind of thing. Like, you're kind of missing the point. Of course, adoption is important. Of course, developers are important, and you want to have a lot of applications. But in most for you non-technical people, one of the reasons people advocate for functional programming, and Haskell is like the most pure functional programming language there is that it really reduces the complexity of your programming when you don't have like something like global state to worry about. If you don't know what global state is, don't worry about it. But it's like this kind of like bad boogeyman in programming where basically you can define things and something will change on you. It's not really common to use global state even in object-oriented programming languages, but that's kind of not the point. Just to say that I usually read that like you can usually, if you commit to like a functional programming paradigm and you have some people who know what they're doing with functional programming, with a team of like 3 to 5 people who are practicing functional programming can probably do something like 30 to 50 engineers work of in the OOP or object-oriented paradigm. So, and that's just like a like a rough thumbnail guideline figure kind of thing, but decomposition and composing functions and all these kind of good practices that are allowed from Haskell and Plutus are what make functional programming such a powerful method. Does this look familiar? This is actually what I was talking about above when Charles was talking about the little bird landed on my shoulder. I was actually thinking about this image, so that's funny. Ada Lovelace and the bird. It's important to remember who is helping make all of this possible. I'm confused by this post. Do they mean that Ada Lovelace has helped making this possible? Yeah, I don't think she's helping, but she is who the project is named after, so that's cool. Signal, an end-to-end encryption, E2EE messaging app with 20 plus million active users, is looking to integrate crypto payments. I think IOG is the perfect team for the job. I don't know how I feel about this. I having worked in corporate spaces, like usually by the time an announcement is made about like something happening, there's already significant work being done in doing that. Like I don't really understand the point of chasing these things once they've already been announced, because unless they're genuinely like, I think there was a post by Jack Dorsey, the Twitter and Square founder, about making a decentralized version of Twitter that Twitter would be a client of a while ago. And he was like, we're starting this, we're funding this, we want to do this. Like that was a pretty unique post in that it seemed like he was genuinely interested in doing that, and they were starting to explore that space. But in most companies, by the time you make a public announcement, you're already significantly committed to a development path. So, usually what I would say is like, there's not really a lot of value in chasing these kind of opportunities as they are announced. Charles and Vitalik, what happened? This was that a short clip from the interview. Charles posted it to his Twitter also, saying that he's going to start every interview with just displaying, because it's the question that he's asked the most often. And just, it sounds like a difference of opinion. And I've had a few of these in my own career, or more, not in my career, but in grad school, right? It's kind of funny. Like usually you get these kinds of strong personalities together, people who have perspectives, and there can definitely be a kind of clash of personalities and of ideologies. And I actually found that it was actually kind of like a kind of coming of age experience for me. There was this guy in my grad school who we were almost like mirror images of each other, except he was just like a white dude from Portland. And but I went to Montessori schools as a kid. He went to Waldorf. I went to a liberal arts college, and he went to like Bowdoin. I don't know how do you pronounce it, but it's the school that Tony Soprano's daughter went to, small liberal arts college. And I also did a liberal arts undergrad degree. And like, I didn't know that when I first met him, but like we were like gnashing at each other's teeth or whatever, or we were gnashing our teeth at each other during all of our reviews. And eventually I figured out, oh, the reason we're able to debate like this and disagree with each other is because we're actually quite similar, and we became really good friends after that. But it was kind of like my Charles Xavier and Magneto kind of moment, like except in reverse. Like we started out as enemies and we became friends because like we could understand and respect each other's I won't say prowess, but like mental agility to conduct arguments, and I really respect that. And on that point, like that's one of the more disappointing things to me in the Cardano space from the past week or two, is like we were having what I felt was like a civil debate and discussion online, and people immediately like took a disagreement of position to mean I had a few people tell me to stop being a dick, and I don't think anything I said was dickish. So now I'll get personal. I actually take that to be a pretty immature statement. Like if you can't separate an argument or a position from a personal attack, especially when it's been qualified as such, then maybe you don't really belong in a discussion of adults. So, mic drop. Decentralization update. Cardano donuts. I like Danny. Danny posts. I like data. So this is pretty cool, and this is great segue in what we were just talking about. So the network is 76% decentralized. That means 76% of the blocks are made by stake pools, and 24% are made by the BFT nodes that IOHK runs that are not their stake pools. And look at this. This is exactly what we're talking about. If you go by count, if you just count up what percent of the pools are single stake pool operators, it's 61%. And Binance is 3.64%, and IOG is 2%, right? And if we look at some of the big YouTube channels, where are they? They don't even appear here, right? They don't have Digi. Digi has enough pools that there's 0.49% of the number of pools, right? But if you look at it by stake wise, right? Binance goes from being 3.64% of the network to 12% of the network. And single pool operators go from being 61% of the network to 21% of the network, right? So ideally, you would see this, SPO operator. Of course, we don't know, are they really single pools? Are people hiding the fact that they're running multiple pools? But, for things to be really good, we would see this number at closer to 50%. Where are we over here? And Digi's 1% of the network, right? That's a lot. That's a lot. Okay. Where were we? TNABC? What was this? Was this a recent post 3 days ago? I didn't catch this. Did anyone watch this video in chat? Building fairer financial systems. I'll have to give that a watch. I did not do my homework. Getting close to 70%, 100 users. I think we're getting into a lot of repeats, so I might close it out. Does anyone have any staking questions or other topics they want to discuss? Throw them below. Last chance. Not. We'll call it for a night. Thank you for chatting, James. Thank you for chatting, Alakai. And I think we have one or two other viewers. I appreciate your time this evening. I hope you had fun. And I'll look forward to talking to you guys again soon.